welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 225. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who thinks barristers' wigs should be called Judge Dreads. Tony bloody Dan.
Hello.
How the devil are you, sir?
I'm in a great mood, mate. I'm in a real good mood, and I can tell already that you are as well, which means that this is going to be great.
Mood, yeah, I think it's going to be the best podcast of all time.
Can I leave then, if that's the case? Because
we've got some.
I don't think you're going to need
me. No, I'm not too shabby, mate. Although it started raining, so you know what that means. Summer's dead. It's gone.
Yes, finally.
It's going to get cold. It's going to get dark. It's going to get murky. We're going to have to break out the big coats. I had to put on I've got a regatta, like waterproof coat. Looks a bit like a fisherman's coat, but it keeps me warm. I had to put that on to go to school today.
Really?
Yeah, it made me feel really old.
You're dropping someone off at school, by the way, I assume, not going to school.
Going to school to pick Logan up.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, you got some guy walking around in like a big green anorak, just lurking around the gates.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, guess what, Dan? NVIDIA had some big old spanking news this week.
Boy, did they.
Boy, did they. Howdy. Now, how off the bat, how easy do you reckon it's going to be to get one of these RTX 4090s?
I'd say if you give it 10 years, then they should be reasonably easy to get a hold of. But I get like, you know, the 30s, they go, oh, it's going to be, you know, they're way more powerful, but they're more affordable, like comparatively speaking. Whereas with this one, rather than just going, oh, it's just like the next one along. Yeah. They said, oh, and we've built in this thing that will retroactively make all your old shitty games that you really like. But it'll make them look absolutely amazing now because of just like inbuilt features from the modding community.
Yeah, it's that age.
What an inclusion!
There's a lot of stuff in it, and to combat the scalpers that have plagued the entirety of the RTX line from the 20 series through to the current 30 series and now the 40 series, they've gone, here's a card that's better in every aspect and it's cheaper. So you go, oh, fucking brilliant, thanks. Now we'll never get one.
Yeah.
It to be like 19 grand.
But I think it's the sort of the data mining thing is coming to an end almost. Like, you know what it's like, as soon as it hits the mainstream, it's already starts to lose some of the steam, and the people who are going to make absolute millions off it, they already have done.
Yeah.
Now it's people that are just sort of like
greedy,
absolutely rinsing farms for just, you know, minimal gains at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping it's not going to stack up, but I do have the prices here, Dan. American prices, though.
Go on.
So currently, an RTX 3090 Ti is $1,999, and an RTX 4090 is $1,599.
Much more reasonable.
So it's a lot more affordable, and that is both with 24GB memory, GDDR6X memory. Base clock's higher on the 4090 at 2.23 against 1.67 on the 3090 Ti. I'm not going to go into all the...
if you want the specs, look on NVIDIA's website.
There'll be a link in the description. However, you got two variants of the 4080. You got a 16 gig version and a 12 gig version, which cost $1,199 and $899 respectively, against a 3080 Ti, which costs $1,199. So pretty good.
Well, is
overall.
that RRP though, or is that just available, like the current available price?
I assume this is just a list from our favourite enemies, IGN, where they've done a nice little table just showing you the differences. However, minimum PSU required for a 4090 is 850 watts, which is something.
850?
Yeah, it's pretty high. Mine is.
That is.
I can't see, it's on the other side. So.
Well, I didn't actually, because I bought a PSU that I've got up there, which I think is... Shit, I can't see it. I think it's either 700 or 750.
I'm pretty sure mine's 700. pretty sure.
Yeah, but the one I've got in this new PC is $450, I think, because that was the minimum. Because you had to have a PSU when you're having the PC built, and that was the cheapest. Because I was just like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put it in the bin as soon as I get it anyway, or I'll sell it. Doesn't matter.
Well done.
And it's so fucking difficult to get out. I was just like, no, that'll do as it is. And I'm pretty sure that it's I have this sort of weird thing that happens on my screen every now and then, which I think is something to do with either the GPU failing, which is just old, we're getting to that point anyway, or it's because the PSU isn't delivering enough power across the board.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. We do have, there's a section on our website called What We Use, and it's got a list of our PC components and whatnot. And I've just gone on, and on both mine and yours, we've got everything but the PSU. So
oh, brilliant.
I'll go have a look and just find out. So I'll just have to turn the PC around and have a look. Overall, everything it's miles better across the board. The 4080 does seem to be... You're going to have to go for the 16 gig variant to get the... the 4090 is a landslide winner against every fucking card on the market, but the 4080 and the 3080 Ti at least they're not too dissimilar. Obviously, other than price,
except in price. Yeah. Well, to be fair, if the power and the capability is pretty similar for both of them, then the only factor is going to be the price.
Well, it will be. You'd be daft. Like if you're going in for a graphics card and you're going to slump up the cash for a 3090 Ti, which is going to cost you $1 off $2,000, then
insane.
You may as well save some money and get a 4090
for a better card.
For a far better card for just under $500 cheaper. And
well, Callum, Christmas is a coming.
It is a coming.
Well, and I've still got a 1070 because I was only looking to upgrade pretty much at the outset of the kind of like crypto mining bullshit, which meant that for probably the past 2, maybe 3 years, it's just not been feasible. For one, it's holding up absolutely fine. It's running pretty much everything that I'm playing with. I think, like, with the exception of like maybe like Red Dead or like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like so Spider-Man's at ultra, but it's not running like ray tracing at like the absolute peak because it doesn't have that functionality.
Yeah.
So there is a slight amount of improvement that I can get from what I'm playing at the moment. But I was just sort of like, meh, you know what? The right deal, the right card, it'll come along at some point. So I thought I was going to, wait until the 20s came out, and then the 20s came out, and I thought, well, I'll wait until the 30s come out, then the 30s came out, and then crypto bullshit. Maybe now I'll just wait until the 50s come out, and then maybe I'll get one of those instead.
And then I'll get a 20.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to get a card now. Whatever you would spend on a card, because you've got a 2080, right?
No, I've got a 2070 Super.
Right, okay. Because that was like marginal gains between the Super and the 2080, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was like I believe it was something like 150 quid cheaper than the 80, and there was certain aspects of it that were better, but for what we use it for, so like gaming and everything else, but like media encoding is better on the 2070 Super. And I pretty much exclusively just render videos, so it's like it makes more sense, and it was cheaper. But like, I'm not in the. I won't even entertain.
No, you're not going to be in
idea.
the market.
No,
for
I mean,
I'm
running ray tracing, I'm running everything on Ultra. I've got no issues whatsoever.
Sure. So I would say fine. If you would be looking to increase in like the next couple of years, you can't do that. Instead, what you would have spent on doing that, you've got to give that to me, so I can go in and I can get a 4080.
Well, tell you what, Dan, I'll meet you halfway. I'll buy a 4090 and I'll give you a 2070 Super.
Do you know what? That works for me. I'll take it. Yeah. If you're stupid enough to go and spend nearly $2,000 on this thing, you're more than welcome to it, mate.
This video is sponsored by NVIDIA and the RTX 4090. No, I wish.
It's a good presentation. Like it looks like there's.
Did you watch the flight
definite
sim
benefits to it?
Demo?
No, I only watched the
looks phenomenal.
what is it? reflect or reflex or something like that.
Love,
the inbuilt
Lovelace.
No, it's like it's like the modding shit that's in there. It's like upgrade. It's called reflect or something.
Oh no! So it's built on the Ada Lovelace architecture, and then doesn't say. Nice one, IGN. You fucking.
Well, IGN can't be trusted.
If you're not
anything.
spoiling stuff, you're not giving me everything that I need. It's one or the other. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't specify, but the Microsoft Flight Simulator demo looks fantastic.
But it does, mate.
It looks good anyway, but it was like obviously showing you on a 3090 Ti, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But it's running. This is turned on. This is turned on. This is turned on.
That's insane. I mean, this could be, tweaked for their own purposes, maybe. But they've got like a performance comparison on NVIDIA's own website, so you can go check this out. It's got a 4080 versus 3080 Ti, and it's got the 16 and the 12 gig comparison. But the 4090 next to the 3090 Ti, so the highest card of the previous generation, it's like 4 times better than it.
Yeah, that's what they were claiming on the thing.
It's insane, man.
But this was also the case for the when you went from the GTX 10 series to the RTX 20 series. It was,
but there hasn't been that much time difference. Like how? It's just progressing so fucking quick.
Really, and I still stand adamant that there wasn't enough of a jump between the 20 and the 30s. So if you had anything like a 2060 was still comparable to a 3060. It was marginally different. The 2070 Super was still better than a 3060. Obviously, once you get into the 80s, it's a bit different. But this is just such a ginormous leap.
It looks mad.
It's genuinely ridiculous, and
this might be the one, mate.
Cheaper.
Like,
you need a big case. Though. It's ginormous.
I'd say you'd fit in mine. There's absolute shit tons of room in there.
Have you got a full or a mid?
No, it's a full.
Yeah, so it should fit in it fine then.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'll take the fucking front off if I have to. I don't care. But it's one of those things that I think that with again, this one's absolutely fine. Like I know I've been moaning previously about PC issues and stuff like that, but I think that was OS related. It wasn't anything to do with the GPU.
No, it definitely wasn't your graphics card. Definitely.
No, but that is just an old card now. Like there will be a turning point where it just. Like I've got a feeling that it's just sort of like I'm just one day away from just turning it on, and it's like, nah, I'm done, and that'll be it. But instead of going, because so again, comparatively price wise, it would still be cheaper to pick up a 20 or maybe even a 30.
I don't even know, to be honest.
I don't know, but this is it. I think it would just be better to go, well, if I get a 40, then it's insanely better than all of the other ones that I would pick up anyway. So that's me done for like another 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
From Gigabyte, a 2070 Super, only the 8 gig version, so it's your entry Super. Mine's the next one up. You're still looking at 700 quid.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Drop an extra 300 on it and get one that's 5 times as powerful as it.
Exactly. Like even looking at this, looking at a RTX 4080, the 16 gig version, that's 11, nearly 1,200 quid. May as well spend an extra fucking 3 and get the fucking 90.
Maybe, but that is a bit of a leap. Like,
no,
if you're thinking about. But you could do that forever, though, because then if you go, well, if I just get the 60, it's only like 200 quid more than it's this one. Well, it's only 300 quid more. Yeah, but then that's 500 quid that you didn't plan on spending in the first place. So, within your means.
Yeah, obviously don't remortgage your house and this, that, and the other. But I will say, whilst the majority of the time you go, well, this is only marginally better than that one, and this one's £100 cheaper. Or look what these new Radeon cards are a lot cheaper, and look how much the performance is better. Blah blah blah. But this is a considerable jump from. This is a really good card. This card's phenomenal, and again, I ain't gonna rush out and get one anytime fucking soon. But it's if you are fortunate enough to be able to get one, I can't see you being disappointed at all.
No, I agree. But yeah, what a nice little. That was only today that came out, I think, wasn't it?
Yesterday, I believe. 21st, this article was, and it's the 22nd today. So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't even know there was doing a presentation or anything. I just popped up on
because someone at work showed me the keynote speech as they were talking about like the kind of like the enhanced stuff that's built into it, and I was just like, holy shit! Like that's more of a reason.
Yeah.
To look into this particular series over any of the others.
Be interesting to see what Team Red come out with now.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I bet they're going, oh, for fuck's sake! Like again, we've got to do it again.
Well, up until the RTX line came out, I was very tempted to go Radeon this time because
well, you convinced me to get an AMD motherboard,
Ryzen,
like
CPU.
Yep. Sorry, yeah. No, it's the motherboards. That's Asus. I think. Sorry,
Asus. You got the
no, not Asus.
Yeah, it's Strix. No,
Armory.
What is it? What we use? I'll tell you exactly what it is, Dan, because it's on the website.
It is Asus. Yeah, Asus Tech. Yeah,
Asus ROG Crosshair. What's
BII
7
Hero? Yeah.
And a Ryzen 7
which was, I think,
3800X.
But that was the thing. Like, I think when I bought this a couple of years ago, like the 7 Hero was pretty much. I mean, without again going insane, that was like one of the best motherboards that I could get.
Still is.
So again, sorry.
Still is. It's a great motherboard.
Yeah. But then, like the the CPU as well. Like I'm trying to future-proof everything, and then I was like, well, I won't get a GPU. Don't need any of that because I'll just pick up a new one of those as soon as the next one comes out. It'll drop the price of the last ones, and then everyone was like, no, Bitcoin.
The thing is, though, with your the PC I had prior to this, everything else was out of date except your GPU.
Yeah, that was the other way around. Now it's just catching back up again,
and it made way more sense to go rather than simping out on a CPU and a motherboard and getting a better graphics card. Graphics card's fine; it still runs everything as it needs to, but you are future proof. Like you can get obviously potentially on the PSU. You'll have to double check it, but you could go and get a 4090 tomorrow, and everything else is still like top range stuff.
Yeah, like it would completely support it. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would be worth doing would be installing this new PSU, and then maybe looking into maybe a monitor upgrade. But again, this one's absolutely fine. Like it would run significantly better with more power behind it.
Speaking of monitors, I was playing. I had to go on Deathloop earlier. As it's recently
just dropped on Game Pass.
Jumped onto Game Pass, which is excellent. However, Daniel, I have, as you know, I have an ultra-wide monitor.
Yes.
And the settings, as they should, pop up in Deathloop, but it's only so it fills the screen, but I can't see the bottom of it. Even though it's like I can set it to like 38 whatever. 14.
You're setting it to native?
Yeah, it's on. It's just on like. I haven't changed it to anything. That's just what it is. And you know, sometimes when you load a game and it'll just like load really big and then it'll just go up and then come back in. It's like it never does it. So I went into the video, managed to get to video settings, and it's like the monitor, the resolution and the display of my monitor isn't supported by my monitor. Like with that one game, so I've had to do 1440p on it.
Right.
So I mean it's fine, perfectly playable and livable. It's just baffled me why it wouldn't work. I put it to windowed borderless. Swapped it to.
Is it because it was made primarily for the PlayStation? Maybe
I shouldn't think so, because it was. I can't see that being an issue.
Maybe not, but it's just that think of like all the other Bethesda titles; they all drop on PC eventually.
Yeah, and
they all release across the board. Whereas this one was like, what was it, like a year, maybe 18 months that they had it.
Yeah, but it's not like it was made on a PS5; it was made on a PC, and then obviously they port it over.
It'll be a patch at some point.
baffling.
There'll just be like an additional resolution for like
I'll have finished it by then. I don't care. That's fine. It's about time in waiting. Played it briefly prior to it hitting Game Pass. Didn't get too into it, but I like it. It's fine. It's a good addition. It's about time we've had a good AAA game.
There's a couple in the pipeline that are coming up as well, and I know that there's been some decent drops on PlayStation Plus as well. So looks like we're just getting to the I don't think, are there any other big releases that we got
there is,
at the end of this year?
And I forgot what it is, but not big releases, but I could be saying it wrong. Valheim. Yeah, that's coming to Game Pass this month.
Isn't that a Steam thing, that like building Viking towns or something like that? Is that
yeah,
one?
It's what's the word? Like a survival game. So like Conan.
I think you build like longboats.
Yeah. It looks really cool. It was on.
Remember, when didn't this drop and then everyone went fucking bananas?
Yeah, it's really really
overwhelmingly positive.
95%
of 300,000 reviews,
and that's on its way to Game Pass this year.
Not bad. Well, that'll be another one, I think. Well, I've just downloaded Slime Rancher 2, mate, which I was playing a little bit before you gave me a call, because I had a little go on the first Slime Rancher.
You got Spider Heck as well.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
I don't know what it is, but I had a note.
It's like
what the date was. I had a notification on my watch. I was like, "Ooh, what's Spider Heck?"
No, I did see though that Persona 5 is like one of the newer.
I really like Persona. I don't know if it's. I've
never played it. No, I don't think so. But I'm thinking that maybe I'd just try this one and just see if there's anything of value in there for me. Maybe
I think they're fun.
I don't know.
I'll say I've got some on PlayStation. Same as what's it called? The Japanese one, Yakuza.
Isn't there any one of those coming out?
There is. Well, it's like a spin-off, it's like a dragon. But yeah, they're really good, but they're just so over the top ridiculous. But not in that's like the anime style that you don't like. It's more like just like a bonkers film. That is the best way to describe
like a Kung Fu Hustle kind of.
Yeah. Much like I think you'd quite like it if you gave it a chance, but they're not for everyone. But
I mean, to be fair, mate, anything that comes out on Game Pass, I'll go. Sure, I'll give it a go.
I think Yakuza is on Game Pass.
No, they definitely are, because I think I was looking to get. I think it was Zero. I think it was. Because I think that was like the latest one that was on there. I honestly I can't remember, but I think it was like 60 gig or something. And I was like, fuck that!
They are big games.
Yeah, I'm not wasting all that space for something that I'm probably not even going to like. Forget
it. Grounded gets a full release on September 27th.
That's next week.
Let's Build a Zoo.
I've got Planet Zoo, mate. That's all I need.
Beacon Pines, which I've heard very good things of, that also came out today.
Yeah, and I had a look at it. It looks like it's a fucking storybook rather than it's like a visual novel kind of thing.
But what we're all
not my cup of tea, I'm afraid.
Kind of like glazing over, Dan, is Paw Patrol Grand Prix. Is that on September?
Do you know
30th?
What, mate? I saw in the coming soon. I saw Paw Patrol in there, and I was like, "Should we do a Paw Patrol video?
Yeah.
Should we do a Mario Kart Paw Patrol?"
Well, there is another one, isn't there? There's another Paw Patrol game that's like a puzzle platformer. Now, if that's multiplayer, Dan, we're 100% going to do it.
Sure.
And then when that Mario Kart knockoff comes out, we'll do that as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Are you interested in Disney Speed Racers or whatever it's called?
Because
I think it looks pretty fun.
It does look alright, but again, it's just another kart game, isn't it?
Are they ever going to be better than Mario Kart is the biggest question, because I have Crash Team Racing, and it's alright, does what it is, but it's not Mario Kart. And I remember the same thing when it came out on PS1. It was like, it's not Mario Kart. And I bought Sonic All-Star Racing, whatever the fuck it's called. And then
Sonic and All-Star Sega, something like
Smash Bros. Royale.
No, that's.
I'm sure it's called All-Star Race.
No, that's
All-Star Racing.
Yeah, that's racing though. It's like Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I bought that like when it came out.
Yeah, you said Smash Bros.
Yeah, because you'd said a different thing, so I was just making the title longer. That's
all right.
That's all it was. But yeah, I bought that and the second one, and the second one's awful.
Why would you buy the second one if you've already played the first one? Yeah, this isn't as good.
It wasn't for me. Logan wanted it.
Yeah, of course.
I thought, but they never live up to the heights of Mario Kart. Mario Kart's just had a load of new DLC.
Yeah, there's like 40 quid.
Yeah, I ain't fucking paid for it. No, you should have it for free.
Well, no, I haven't got Mario Kart.
Oh, when? It's going to cost you more than 40 quid then.
Well, no, because I get all my Switch games off eBay.
That's
mate.
very much true. Very much true. I have.
Screw you, Nintendo. I win.
I have Mario Kart, but I refuse to pay the same price for a game that I've had. I had it on the Wii U. I bought it for the.
What, 8? Yeah, because there hasn't been a 9 yet, has there?
No. This is a port of the Wii U version, but with all the DLC. So the one on the
then how's there not been?
The one on the Switch is the one from the Wii U. But
then what are all the extra tracks then? Are they not?
These are new ones, like the tracks and stuff. These are new ones that have been made specifically for this one. But I bought Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. I got rid of the Wii U, and then I got Logan had a Wii U given to him. So then I bought Mario Kart 8 again for the Wii U, and then I bought it for the fucking Switch. So I refuse to buy any more DLC for this stupid game that I bought 4 times.
Well, initially it came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So that is a very old game at this point, and yet they still haven't made a new one.
Don't need to. It's still one of the best-selling games on any platform, really. I imagine it still outsells a lot.
Yeah, maybe. I do need to probably pick it up at some point. No, to be fair, I mean, it's the same as like, what is it, Tears of the Kingdom or something like that? The new Zelda?
Breath of the Wild.
No, the new Zelda.
Oh, yeah. It's not out yet.
No, it's not. They've only just... it was in that Nintendo Direct, wasn't it? Like that, I'll definitely get that when that comes out, because again, it's the same as Scarlet.
Yeah, the first one.
Because that's in... Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I was playing it, mate.
I can't remember if you'd got it or not.
Here we go. Right. So I went to Edinburgh last week. So I had a few days off. Like, you know what I'm like. I don't take much time off work. Also, I guess what I did yesterday. I hired my first member of staff.
Oh yeah, that was coming up. Sorry, hit the microphone. Yeah, that was coming up, wasn't it? I forgot about that.
Yep. So I've now got officially a team member for me.
Well done.
Someone that I can
boss around,
introduce into the world of work, because they're only young, unfortunately. So in a couple of weeks they'll be starting. So I'm quite looking forward to that. But this is what I was thinking, right? Because I haven't taken much time off work, and I've got like every Friday and then like a Thursday and a Monday thrown in there as well in October. I've got all of them booked off. But now I've got a team member that's starting. I was talking to my manager and I was like, should I just cancel all those holidays? And he was like, absolutely fucking not. Like, if you do not take them, you will never use them. So you just like, they're going to be like with other people at other times anyway. So just plan it out. You'll be fine. So I was like, right, fine. But I actually took a bigger block of time off last week. So I had Friday off and I had Monday and Tuesday off this week. I know it's only 3 days. Fuck me.
That's a lot though.
Like, we literally had someone leave for 3 weeks today. Okay. So I wouldn't know what to do myself, honestly. But a friend of the show, Chris, who's been on a previous podcast. Hi, Chris. I went to stay with him and his girlfriend in Edinburgh, in Scotland, for a few days. And Edinburgh's a fucking great city for a start. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. And when I was getting there, it was like a 3.5 hour trip. So it's way further away. I thought it was like about an hour away. I don't know why.
It's a good bit away.
Yeah, it's a mission to get there. But I was just like, do you know what? I've taken some time off work. I haven't taken my laptop with me because I was like right on the edge of like, oh, if I can do some work on the train maybe. But I was like, no, this is an actual holiday. I'm taking some time off for me now. So sat down on the train, got a table to myself, right? And I was like, unbelievable. Like, all the other seats had been booked apart from one, which was still empty. I got that one. All the other ones were booked, and then they didn't get on. So I was like, brilliant. So people just walking past going, shit, they're all booked. Moving on. So I got as far as Preston, which I think is about 40 minutes away, before like 3 old people got on. I'm like, yeah, we're all going to sit here.
Oh,
I was
for
like,
God's sake.
Fuck's sake. And like, I'm quite tall, you know, so my legs are just sort of like now smushed up like this because I've got to sit like this for like 3 hours. So wasn't best pleased getting there. And again, it was 3 hours. So I had my Switch with me because I was going to play some Breath of the Wild. I was like, man, I haven't put some time into that for a long time. I'm going to just sit down and I've got a long period of time. I could watch a couple of films, or I could just put some serious time into Breath of the Wild. There'll be plugs everywhere. Plug it in. Like, my phone charger will charge it, which is great. Yeah. I didn't realise that.
It's just USB-C,
so I'm good to go. So, no plugs for a start.
For fuck's sake.
And then I couldn't play like with people there because like he was on my fucking armrest as well. So I was just like this. So I can't just like play like this, like a fucking T-Rex, just like right in front of my face, like an idiot. So I was like, fuck's sake, well, it's fine. I'll get it on the way back. I'll put some time in. They'll be fine. So get to Edinburgh, have a great time. Like they were so like we were drinking whiskey, smoking cigars. There's a whiskey bar there where you can, like, you pay £4.50 and you get, like, a ring. And it's, like, a whole fucking, like, there's, like, 3 or 4 different levels of different bottles of whiskey of varying quality and price. You just whip it over, you get 3 goes. Whatever it lands on, you get a shot of. And if you get nothing, you just get, like, the equivalent of £4.50.
What, if you throw it and you knock all the bottles over?
Then you run like fuck. You run as fast as you can, or they will throw you in the canal, presumably. So that was great. Like the food was great. We did a couple of escape rooms. One was brilliant. One was for context. One we got out with 3 minutes to spare, and like we had to end it by stabbing a vampire in the heart.
That's pretty cool.
Which we did about 10 times because we were like panicking because we were running out of time. And then the other one we got out with 25 minutes to spare.
Wow.
So that's like, that's not like because we came in and crushed it. It's because it was
just really easy.
Particularly. It wasn't even just that it was easy. It was like one room. There was no mood lighting. It was just fluorescent lights. There was no music or anything like that. I like
escape. We should do an escape room.
I'd like to do one with you, mate. I think you'd be quite good at it. You've got that kind of like that brain.
We did one. It was like a science spaceship type thing, but we did it all. We got out and everything with like we were in like the last minute. And then me and Zoe's sister's partner, we solved the last thing, which unlocked the door. And like you say, we were on like by this point like 40 seconds. But then, like there's about 6 of us. One of the guys has gone over and then pulled the handle off the door. So we're like, we can't get out. And they had to open it from the other side for us.
Oh, hopefully that still counted.
Yeah, they did it from when we solved it.
Right, okay. But this one was like, it was the I'm talking about the first one here, but there was so they had like an iPad that they gave you, so it was like QR code. So if you were getting stuck, you could scan the QR code.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a penalty or anything like that. It's just that you haven't done it, traditionally. You just sort of need like a nudge.
A bit of help.
So it's like a hint just to be like, well, maybe if you do this or whatever. But then there's a button, like a light switch button by the main entrance, and if you click the button, the guy, like the game master, like there wasn't like fancy dress or anything, but they still had like a cool story, and it's very cheesy, but they know it's cheesy.
Yeah,
and
they're
play
fully
it
invested in it.
For sure. So if you click that, he will come in and give you a hand. Not like he won't just stay in there with you, but if you just like, maybe if you just do this thing, and he's like, yeah, just do this now, and you'll solve this.
Yeah.
So we called him in. So we got through the first bit. Although we took too long on that because annoyingly there was like 4 discs that you've got to like get into the right, order. So there's like stacks on stacks.
Yeah.
So you just sort of like twist them around until they match up. So Chris figured that one out, and then we spent probably about 6 or 7 minutes, which doesn't sound that long, but again when you're on the clock,
yeah, it all adds up.
That's real time. Trying to find this last one because there was 4 padlocks on 2 trunks. And we found 3 of these disc things, and then in the we expected to find the last disc thing in the first trunk once we got that one open. Nothing in there apart from like something else that was not relevant to it. So we were just like, we just couldn't figure this out. We're like, what are we doing? Like, how are we this fucked in the first room? Like, what is going on? And do you know where it was? It was on top of like the box, like next to, and it was just on top of there. And like, honestly, it was so funny because like I was like looking around, like because it's moodlit, so it's quite dark. And you got this little torch, and I was just sort of like just scoping. I was like, what is going on? And it was at my eye line, but because Chris and Nicole are quite short, they never would have clocked it up there.
That's a bit cheaty.
So I was just, I kind of like, they gave, they did like cheesy photos or whatever at the end. What the photo I want is from the camera, which was like directly like looking down at us in this first room. And it's me sort of like scanning around with this thing, seeing it on the top and just going. And like Nicole saw me, she's like, what? Because she was on edge thinking that there was like something that was going to like jump out or whatever. And I was like, it's up there. I just pulled it down and they were like, oh, for fuck's sake. So we got that one open and then the second, and like, then we started to get through. And then on the, like in the next two over, I think, there was like one thing and we had all the pieces out. We just couldn't figure it out. So we had to run back out and pull the switch. And the guy comes running in and he's like, yeah, you know, you figured out and you know what this is. But so if you just take them out and then just put them over here. And it was like a digital, like a number 6. And as soon as I clocked it, I was like, fuck, okay, now it makes sense. Then we got through into the last bit, and you've like got to, like, someone's got to be outside, like turning a handle, which turns on a UV light, a black light, sorry. So like these like musical notes show up, and you like put a pattern in, and we were getting to like that was when we had like the last 5 minutes, and we were just sort of like, if what we're doing hasn't worked, we don't understand why it's not. Yeah. So Chris ran back out again. He pressed the switch, and the guy came in, and he's obviously just sat there watching us or whatever. And he comes running in. He was like, "You've already done it!" And like just opens the box because like they were talking to each other. I was outside like cranking this fucking handle, and whilst they were talking to each other, they clicked the right thing, and like the magnet released on the box, but they didn't hear it. So we were just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then like we had like 3 minutes left. Oh, it's so good. And then the other one was just really just not that greatly put together.
It
like
takes you out of it though. Like if
it really does, mate. Like it sort of it just sort of it shows that like a well thought through one of it, and they were the same price.
Really?
So it's to the point where you just sort of like, places? Well, no, totally different place. Because when we came out of the first one, they didn't have any other people there, so we were like, should we just go back and do another one? Yeah. Like, we're already here. Like, we were dead up for it, but we were like, no, fuck it, we'll do it tomorrow instead. And then when we tried to get tickets on the Sunday, every single room, every single time slot was already full. Yeah. So they were absolutely getting rinsed out there.
The one I did was, I'd said to Zoe, so next time down we should go and do it. And this was pre-COVID. And they had on the website, they've got this one and this one and this one and this one, but it's like coming soon. So they only had the one. Right. It's like, I ain't doing it again because I've already done it. It's like,
yeah, you know what those is. Yeah.
That one had a similar to where you had that guy that came in and helped. This one, because it's on like a spaceship, you've got an AI assistant. So you shout the name out and then it'll tell you so you're like, I'm not going to say Amazon lady name, but you treat it like that, and you just be like, Ethel, is there anything to do with these coloured eggs? And she'll be like, affirmative, or no, or
right,
whatever.
Okay.
But that's how they talk to you through. Obviously, they're watching you through it, but like
that's quite clever.
Yeah, it was very good, and it was like, I think if I remember rightly, it was 3 rooms that you go through. But I really enjoyed it. And it's because you're just playing a game. It's just a puzzle game.
Yeah.
And
it absolutely is. It's just a bit of brain teasing.
Remember the one we did online?
Yeah, it's dog shit, wasn't it?
I'm so gutted I paid like 30 quid for that.
Yeah, it was not good. Put together in a fucking Microsoft presentation.
It was awful. But I was fully of the impression that it was like a virtual room we would walk around and try and...
That's what I thought it was going to be as well.
That's how they build it. But it's
like minimal effort.
No, it's
like a Word document.
Yeah, we could have done that for free. I'm pretty sure I said I was going to put one together. I don't think we ever did it. But
no, it's probably for the best.
Very, very fun though. Very good escape rooms. I want to do that big one in, I think it's in Birmingham or London. But it's like the zombie one where it's like taking over. They close off the streets and stuff. and it goes like through buildings and stuff. It looks real fucking cool. Mm-hmm. It's like £9 billion to do. Like,
probably,
it's very expensive. I forgot what I was going to say because I think I cut you.
Off. No, you shut up. You interrupted me. Yeah. So, like, we had like a great few days, right? So all the sort of like the shenanigans at the start of it. Like, again, I say shenanigans. Someone sat in front of me in a table where they had every right to be there.
Someone sat in a public area.
Infuriating, right? So when we were getting the... Because obviously in England there's a lot of striking going on in various different industries at the moment. After I just got to Edinburgh, actually, they just finished a bin strike.
A bin strike?
So like the bin men had gone on strike. Yeah. So it was a bit sort of like, oh shit, are the trains actually going to be running? Like, because there was some that were cancelled, but I'd found one that was a direct train because I'd got an open return, and it was a direct train to back to Manchester, whereas one of the other ones was like you got to change at Preston, I think, for like an hour, and then you get. I was like, so that's like a 4.5 hour trip back now. That's taking the piss. That's what happened at the start. It wasn't. Yeah, I knew there was a reason I wasn't happy about just getting there in the first place. So I got this table. I was just like, fuck me, brilliant. What a great start to this holiday already. Table to me, all the space, all the chargers. Oh wait, no charger. Okay, well that's fine. Breath of the Wild on the way, no problem. Guy comes round, tickets everyone. I was like, yep, there you go, bud. And he's like, yeah, no worries. Oh, you can't use that on this train. I was like, what? So he's like, you've got like an off-peak return, not an open return. Because like an open return, you can just use it on any train. Whereas there's multiple train services that run to Scotland, presumably. So I was like, oh, I didn't know. And he was like, don't worry, like it's really shady, like the way that they do it, like how they sort of present it. It's like the cheapest option, but it's like open whatever, even though it's not. Like you can only use it on like 2 train services. So the one I was on obviously was not one of it. So it cost me another 40 quid just to go from Preston to Edinburgh. And I was like, do you know what? I thought you were going to say like 160. So sure, I'll pay that. No worries. So obviously, again, not in a great mood by the time I get there. Coming back though, we're like, okay, well, we know what the deal is. There's only two different types of train company that I can get and use this train on. So Northern and Avanti, I'm going to call you out, you fuckers. So Northern, you can use this ticket on. However, if you go to the Northern website and look for a ticket, look for a train that goes from Edinburgh to Manchester, they don't exist. So you can buy a ticket for a train line that does not run on that particular journey. Outstanding. Avanti, though, they do have one, but like I say, it's like a layover in Preston for like an hour. So I was like, it's either that or I pay another, like I get this same one that gets me to there directly, but I've got to pay like another 40 quid. I said the 70 quid that I spent on the fucking ticket is pointless anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I'll take the layover, bit of Breath of the Wild, absolutely fine. Get on the train. Although, get to the train station, I was like, oh my god, like the train that I was getting on the Avanti website cancelled. And I was like, are you winding me up? So I went to the ticket guy and I was just like, what do I do? And he was like, look, it's still coming, but there is this service that you can't get that is a direct one, but the train guards and like the platform staff, they're dead sound with this sort of stuff. So you just go down there, you show them it's been cancelled on there, pretty much guarantee you they'll let you on. So I was like, nice one, mate. Turned around to Chris and I was like, well, that's definitely not going to happen, is it? Because of course it isn't going to happen. But got down there, like I was near the sort of like the end, fucking typical as well, like where near enough the sort of start-ish of the train. There's like the guard on the thing, you know, flags them off or whatever. And I was like, oh, do you know where the train conductor is? I need to speak to him. He's like, yeah, he's at the other end. And I was like, all right. Fucking pegged it down the train track, got to the guy, and I was just like, oh, the train's been cancelled. The guy upset, and he was like, yeah, don't worry about it, just get on, mate. And I was like, wow, brilliant. I was just like, oh, I've just shaved like an hour and a half off this trip, and it's like amazing. And it was like 7:00, so it wasn't even that busy for service. I was like, oh, I can just sit down and just play some fucking Breath of the Wild. This is what I came to Edinburgh for, to just play this fucking game on the train. Get down there, get on there. And we hit the next station, which was like I can't remember, it was like some lakes thing. Again, like super up north. It was only about 20, 30 minutes away from where I'd got on. And get to when we pull into the platform, just outside my window is the little, the little thing that says like, oh, this is the train, this is the time and where it's stopping at, blah, blah, blah. And it said Preston, Lancashire. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, it stops at Preston, but it doesn't finish at Preston. And so I've, mid-Zelda, just sort of like take my earbud out, like, what the fuck? And the train conductor fella, he comes on, I timed it quite well. I would have had no idea if I hadn't clocked that thing. But he came on the tannoy and he's like, yeah, sorry everyone, but the train's actually going to terminate at Preston. Like, there's no relief staff there. So basically, instead of going directly to fucking Manchester where it was supposed to do, it's going to get about a third of the way and then just cancels. and then kick everyone off. So he then did the rounds, like, up the train. He was like, where are you going to, mate? And I was like, Manchester. And he's like, yeah, so there'll be a rail replacement coach.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
At Preston. I was like, right. And I was like, well, of course. I was just like, I can't have a holiday. Like, when I went to Singapore about 4 years ago, I was laid over in Singapore for 4 days, longer than I should have been because the plane broke. So I don't have a great end to holidays. And I was like, fuck me, of course. Now I was trying to avoid this whole laying over in Preston thing. Now I'm forced to go there whether I like it or not. So finally get there. Like, I've given up on Zelda at that point because I was like, forget it. Get off the train. He was just like, look, just go straight up the stairs, like to the right at the end. The coach is going to be pulling up there. It'll be like 20 minutes, but it's still arriving. So we're like, whatever. So there was like a bunch of people, as you can imagine, that were getting off this train that were all going to Manchester. There was about 60, 70 people maybe, all just sort of stood outside, all cold. And it hits, it was like 10-2 or something, like 5-2. There's like one security guard who was just getting more and more livid with the situation. Not at everyone. Yeah. He was just like, I can't believe all these people have been abandoned here, sort of thing. And the bus replacement coach is, I think it was about 20 minutes late. So everyone's fuming outside already, right?
So you're looking at like 40 minutes by this point.
Yeah, that I've been in there. Yeah, for sure. And I was waiting by the bus like boarding point, but there was like several, but it was like, it should be at this one. And this fucking thing turns up, and I'm not joking. It was an 18-seater. It was like a mini cab sort of thing, and everyone just was like, are you joking? So this thing, like, I'm not joking, like 15 people got on it, and then that was it, and then that fucked off, and we had to wait another half an hour for the next one to show, which was like an actual coach, right? And it comes around and everyone's like, oh, thank God. Like, because luckily, all the other fucking trains have been cancelled as well.
Jesus.
So there was literally no one else adding to these numbers. It was just us and we were just stuck there. And I went to the security guard and I was like, what if they send the same coach? And he was like, I fucking hope not. Like, because he was like, if it's the same size one, half the people here are just stuck here. So he's like, they have to make sure that you get home. So presumably it'd just be like cabs for everyone or whatever.
Yeah.
But then this actual coach pulls up and everyone's like, oh, thank fuck. And then instead of like pulling up to where we are, it like pulls up into like the car park and like just sort of like way down the road. So everyone's like, well, we'll go to you then, I guess. So everyone fucking steams off down to this thing. The guy opens the door and he's like, what are you all doing? And we're like, we're here for the rail replacement. And he's like, yeah, but you're not supposed to be here. Go back where you were. So we're like,
what?
Whatever, dickhead. So he sits there for like another 15 minutes until presumably like the exact time that he's supposed to arrive turns up.
Why?
Even though everyone's just, again, there's not anyone else getting there. So he finally pulls up. Everyone starts piling on. Like, there is plenty of room though, luckily. So I was like, right, fucking hell. At least I can get a seat to myself.
Yeah.
I can get Zelda back out again. And that's like an extra like hour and a half or hour and 40 minutes, whatever it is, to drive back to get back to Manchester. So it's enough time. It's still got plenty of charge. Headphones are still charged up. I'm good to go. It's going to be an inconvenient one. I'm going to get home way later than I was planning on it. But switch time, it's fine. And like most people, you know what it's like. Everyone's just sort of, it's that English sort of like, everyone's just sort of going, oh, bloody buses and trains and public transport. It's all shit in it. So everyone's just sort of like, sort of mumbling to each other. And there was this poor bloke. I mean, I thought I had it rough, right? This poor bloke. He'd flown with his missus from like Dubai and they got laid over for like 7 hours. And then like, do you know what I mean? It's just been an absolute shit show for them. And I was like, fucking hell, I thought I had it bad. Then coach pulls up, everyone starts piling on, sit down. It's actually like quite a decent sized coach as well, so a bit of leg room, little footstool thing, and I was like, all right, not bad, no plug again, that's fine, I'll deal with it. And then, what I can only assume is the biggest crackhead that I've ever seen in my entire life starts sort of like, I was just someone getting a bit loud and leery, sort of like, hey, well, everyone's here, we get a fucking party on the go, we get some bloody drinks later. And I was like, who the fucking hell's this? Is he coming with us? He gets on. Guess where he sits, Callum?
Next to you.
Directly in front of me, mate. Directly in front of me. So he does not stop the whole fucking trip, right? But he's got a. I thought, oh, he's a heroin addict, but he's recovering, and this is like his support worker or something like that. Like this guy, his brain was clearly like Swiss cheese, like gurning all over the place. His teeth were all gone. Like he was sweating. Like is that? Cause it was just constantly, sort of like.
He's obviously having some.
Yeah.
Tweaking or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and then this woman and her kids get on, and then the kid sits next to me, and I'm like, I can't deal with a crackhead in front of me and a kid next. I can't do it. And I was like, is it too late to just get up and move? And this guy is obviously like, oh, are you right, kids? How you doing? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm a stranger, but don't take speech from strangers. But here's some Starburst. Like it's not, mate. It was fun. And then this sort of like support worker person, whoever it was that was with him. It wasn't until about 20 minutes later that she changed places with the kid. So it's the kid sat next to this fucking maniac, and she's sat next to me.
What?
And they're talking to each other, playing music on the phone.
Shocking.
Nice one on a bus. Brilliant. Everyone loves that.
British.
Talking to each other, and I'm just sort of like, I can't even get the switch out because I'm not going to make it out of here if I do, because he's going to fucking have it off me. I know he is. She's got some orange juice, like in a carton that she keeps putting on the tray in front of her. That every time the bus, because the driver was a fucking psychopath, he was just like 60 miles an hour in this fucking thing. Every time he took a slight right turn, this thing just went flying onto me. Every time she's like, oh god, I'm so sorry. Rather than just putting it on the fucking floor or something. Yeah. And she kept on doing this thing where she'd have like a cup like on the tray, and she'd be like talking to this fucking crackhead in front of me. But because she was putting like too much weight on the thing, it just kept like giving out underneath it, and the cup would fall on me. And I was like, for fuck's sake. And then they dropped a bottle. Because it was then I realised she's not like a support worker with it. She's just a mate. Like, because he's drinking fucking vodka on this thing. They just got fucking orange and vodka on the go. And they did not stop the whole trip back.
Why not stay sat together though?
Absolutely interminable. After a while they did. Like eventually I think the mum might have got off potentially an earlier stop. Because she was very quick to sort of like get them kids off and just like, fuck it, we'll get a cab back from here.
I don't see why she would let her kid sit next to him.
I don't know. I think that they got on, like she sat down and then didn't realise that there was this fucking maniac that was sat next to her. And then she was like, I've committed. If I get up and move now, are they going to be like, oh, well, bloody hell, you fucking, oh, too good for us, and then like start... You don't know how to react to someone like that. Like, are they just going to go, oh, sorry about that, oh, didn't mean to offend you or whatever, but, have a nice day, love. Or are they going to chase down that fucking bus? Do you know what I mean? Like, when you got your kids there, you just sort of like, as long as he doesn't do anything, and if he does, I've got a bus full of people to back me up.
Like, because... that was... Like, there's no chance in hell Logan to be fucking sat next to him, and I'd put him through the fucking window before I fucking let him speak to him.
But, like, everyone else was just like... Because, again, don't forget, this isn't a fucking party bus. This isn't a social club that's just travelling. This is people who have been delayed. They've been told that, oh, sorry, by the way, your train's not working anymore, so here, stand in the cold. The last thing they want is some fucking dickhead playing music loud on their phone. I mean, thank God it wasn't like fucking... like some, drum and bass, dubstep... trance house music or whatever. It was like fucking Neil Diamond and like the Carpenters, and I was like, I don't know if that's better or worse.
I mean, I'd rather that than like.
I guess so, but again, I had my headphones in, and like luckily they're noise cancelling ones, but like I can see, like I'm sort of just out the window. I'm just like I if I fall asleep, like what's going to happen? Are they just going to spill everything all over me because they're a bit pissed? And I could see every now and then he'd sort of like that over the top. Presumably he's sort of like saying something either to me or to her or to her about me or something like that. And I was just like, I'm in no mood to engage, because as soon as I engage, I'm part of the group.
Yeah.
And then it got to, I think I was about...
situation for you.
Mate, I got to, I think we were about... Because I had my fucking Google Maps up on my phone. I was like, where are we? Can I just say, mate, let me off? I would just get a taxi back and I'll pay another 30 quid or whatever to get home. And it was like an hour outside of Manchester, and I was like, fucking come on. And then, headphones, boom, low battery, please charge. And I was like, this is my only saving grace. If I take them out, I'm part of it. They know that I can then hear them. Like at this point, I did. They died about 20 minutes outside of Manchester. I mean, fair play to them. Well done, Sony. You saved my fucking beans that day. But yeah, I got off, and as I got off, there was a bloke and his dad. Again, you kind of get this from sort of like, you know, bits of conversation that you sort of hear or whatever. And I thought, oh God, well, you know, there's this bloke and his dad. They're being a bit friendly, but, you know, they're not sort of like, hey, come over here and have a conversation with us. They're just sort of like, they're grumbling to other people, just like, fuck, you know, I can't believe this bloody mess, innit? Oh, bloody hell, Dad. Like, it's, you know, kind of like, but in a very sort of pleasant, you know, kind of like, we're all in this...
Pleasant, like you say.
As we got off, like, he was getting off in Manchester as well, and I could hear him behind me. And he went to the bus driver and he went, good luck, mate. Because, like, they were staying on, and they were just having a little fucking rave back there.
So had they
but then I was...
bumped off the train as well, then, or had they just got on?
I have no idea. I don't know if they just sort of went, that's a bus, I'll get on that. I honestly have no idea.
Don't they, like, at the end, like, he gets to Manchester, and then everyone gets off, and it's just them, and they go front and they go, are you going back to Preston? Because we need to go home.
Yay, party bus, woo! No, I think you had to have a train ticket to actually get on. That you had to show it. So presumably they were just going to the airport, maybe? Fucking hell, I hope they didn't get on the plane. They would have been booted off immediately if they were that pissed.
Can you imagine being stuck in the air with? At least you had the option to just go to drive and go, next place you can pull over, I want to get off. If you're on a plane, you can't do that.
No, I mean, but this is the thing, right? So I mean, they were clearly just absolutely unbelievably annoying.
Yeah.
But they weren't being aggressive. I mean, there was a lot of swearing going on. And again, you've got a kid next to you, mate. Sort of, you know, play the room. But again, if you've got a fucking smack-addled mind, you're not going to think about shit like that, are you?
No.
But they weren't being aggressive. They weren't sort of like calling people out or being abusive or anything. Nothing like that.
Which does happen a lot.
Presumably so, yeah. But again, like, this is a bus full of people who were clearly not wanting to be on this fucking bus in the first place. And if they had a reason to beat someone to death for this inconvenience, it would have been someone who was being abusive to, like, or, you know, threatening a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the driver would have pulled over and they would have been winged off that thing as quick as you like. So they were just really just the most annoying. And as soon as he sat down in front of me, I was like, how can I not have a holiday that doesn't end absolute dog shit?
Like I told you
like,
before,
how
you need to do it so it's a surprise to you. So, like the way the world works, it's already decided it's going to fuck you up and fuck you over every possible thing. But if you don't know it's happening, it doesn't know to do it.
I should have I should have known that, like, because I was expecting the bad luck to go down to the platform. They'd be like, "No, mate, you can't get on this train. That's the wrong ticket." And I'd be like, "Fuck me. Well, I've got to wait an hour anyway." Even if I'd have done that, even if I hadn't chanced it and got the next one, I still would have been on that fucking bus getting home.
Good time though.
Up until that point, yeah, the start and the end, dog shit.
I mean,
but everything in between is great. Edinburgh's a great city.
Just in general, having it's always bad having, like, if you're on public transport, it's always bad having someone sit next to you because you just want to sit and you just want to do it. Not just
fuck
you,
off, mate.
Everyone in general.
Yeah, they don't want to be sat next to someone either. No,
it. But you in particular, I can't think of anybody worse that would have done it unless they were just saying, just like constantly tapping you. And you take your headphone off, like, what? Just fucking leave me alone.
I mean, I did have to do that a couple of times where, like, someone fell on me again and again. And she was like, And I was like, what's up? And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, it fell on you.
I know.
No shit! Like, of course it did. I think the only thing that would have made that situation worse is if one of either the juice box or the cup that she had on there, if someone had been in there and fallen on me, that would have been it. I would have been like, move! Like, I've got to go. Like, I don't care if there's another seat. I'll stand in the fucking aisle if I have to. Like, I can't deal with this.
It would have landed on you. It would have gone on your back, and it would have gone over your Switch.
Oh, can you imagine? I would have made him eat that fucking thing. But yeah, I've learnt my lesson now. Like, I knew I shouldn't have taken any time off work because I had a shit ton of work to come back to yesterday, and it's not worth it for the travel there and back because it always seems to fuck me over. I'm never taking any time off again.
I mean, you have to. I haven't got anything to match that. I
don't think many people do, mate.
I was off Monday.
Although I also went into a Turkish place because we were stopping for
was it a delight?
Like that. No, it wasn't actually. Again, typically, it's on the downward slope of the holiday. There was like we just went into a place that was next to the escape room, the second shit one. Because he was like, oh, you're like 15 minutes early, like we need to reset everything or whatever. And we were like, there's a cafe like next to it. Let's go in there. And it was like a Turkish place, I think, or maybe Lebanese, I'm not sure. So like they got like a Coke and a sandwich or something like that. And I was just like, oh, there's this thing on the back called an Ayran or something like that. Ayran, I think it is. And it was like a creamy sort of like yogurt thing that had like it was salted.
All right.
And I was like, do you know what? Maybe that would be quite nice. It's starting to get a little bit nippy because it was very windy. Yeah. It's sort of chilly wind. I was like, maybe that'll be like a sort of like a nice sort of creamy hot chocolatey kind of thing, but without the chocolate in it. And it came and it was in this sort of beautiful little like tin mug thing. Do you want to know what it was? It's yogurt with water and salt in it, cold. And I was like, this is what semen tastes like, isn't it? I
found the Instagram clip.
I mean, it was just because I was just sort of like, I was expecting like this like cozy sort of like creamy frothy kind of like, oh my god, so but like with a little bit of salt in there, like salty caramel kind of thing, If you just got a fucking muller fruit corner, you put a spoon of that in, topped it up with water, and shook some salt into it, and served it to someone, it was that.
But I don't see what's the.
And I was just like, I paid for it. I'm drinking it. Like I'm not going to not drink it.
Of it. Did it taste nice?
No.
It wasn't like.
I assume it's like a traditional kind of like. I'm going to see if I can Google it now and just see if it's like if they pranked me or something.
Yeah, it could be one of them things where it's just like, oh, this is
Ayran,
this is someone who's out of town. Get him with the semen drink.
Yeah. It's cold, savoury, yogurt-based beverage of yogurt and water across Western Asia, Central Asia, or across Asia. Yogurt, water, and salt. It is quite literally exactly that. And I tell you what, mate. If you go in with any expectations of anything other than like chalky, watery, like a fiver, everything is super expensive there.
You paid
£5
for semen juice. I'd do it for
pretty
free.
Much. Yeah, I know you would. I can go to places in Manchester and get it for cheaper than that.
That's late of it.
And I was just like, that should have been an omen of just sort of like the terrible escape room and then the horrendous trip back.
But you should never, ever try a new. You don't try anything new when you go to places like anywhere.
I disagree. No, because I think that's how you find like hidden gems of just sort of like what do you recommend? What's your specialty?
Juice.
That's if I'd have known it was cold, I think that probably would have been like like cold yogurt but with water.
I mean, I will say when you were saying to me, obviously it's getting a bit cold and stuff. So why are you having fucking yogurt?
But like a warmed through yogurt with like honey in it or something like that sounds quite nice, doesn't it? Like.
Yeah, but yogurt's meant to be cold, isn't it?
No, but you can if you have it like room temp or whatever, it's still pleasant.
I suppose it's filling, it's thick. Actually,
I put sugar in it. I put a sugar in it just to see if it would like because I stirred it again and it kind of did thicken itself up a little bit, but it still just tasted like spunk. I mean,
I don't see, but I know you have like salted caramel and stuff like that. But I can't see how salt would taste nice in any yogurt at all.
With water.
With
it's
with
weak,
water as
watery,
well.
piss water yogurt. Yeah.
But do you think that's just because it would be too thick to drink without the water?
No, because I mean, this was like you could have whitewashed a window with this. It was like chalk and water. Is honestly, it's all it was, but with salt in it. It was fucking grim.
Sounds
like,
rank, mate.
I almost wanted to go back and just go, sorry, I know that this is exactly what it says on the menu, but it's shit. I want my money back.
Why are you charging for this?
Yeah, just give me a Coke instead, Jesus.
Or a cup and a sachet of fucking salt and I'll do it myself.
Guess what I had, actually, from the whiskey bar with the ring toss thing? Because I did not know that it was a real thing. Lagavulin. Ron Swanson's favourite drink.
I thought it was just
the whiskey
made for the show.
So did I.
Wowzers.
Until I literally saw it on a menu and I was like, wait, what? It's real? And ordered it. And it's like so peaty, but it's really good.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was a real thing. So now
Neither did
now
I. I mean,
do.
well, when I was talking to Chris about it, like he already knew that this was like a legit thing, and apparently, like it's Nick Offerman and I think Michael Shaw. It's like their favourite whiskey.
All right.
So they just like worked it into the show so they could, like go to the factory
Fair enough.
and like it's like, hey, can we just like film it for a bit? And I'm like, yeah,
because
sure.
he goes to the island, doesn't he? In the last episode.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought it was just like a random distillery or something like that, and they just slapped a fake.
I just assumed they just put a thing on so it looked like it was that place. But
yeah,
wow.
but it's a real good whiskey as well, real nice.
Like a good whiskey.
So overall, a bit of a
going to buy that
bit of a mixed bag.
Borderlands whiskey.
Yeah, that's something that people may not have seen. There's a Moxie's what's it, like Mad Moxie or something like that from Borderlands. Like there's always Moxie's bar, and there's a Moxie's labelled whiskey that's now available. It was only like 23 quid as well for that bottle, mate. It's not bad.
It did have a price on the
Probably tastes like dog shit, but
on the thing.
You're getting it for the bottle more than anything, I suppose.
The bottle looks amazing. Looks really good. I'll put a little picture up here because I was going to hold the phone up and show it, but I don't think you'll see it.
No.
But it's £22.95. Or
bargain.
Or if you buy 6, you save £6.89, and it's only £130.82.
Well, I'll be honest, mate. I don't want to buy 6 bottles of whiskey for a whiskey I'm buying purely for the label.
It's pretty cool,
and I don't know if it's any good at all.
You might not like
although
it as much.
again, with Christmas coming up, Callum, there's a limited edition Star Trek Nerf phaser rifle and hand phaser that are available. That you can always buy me for Christmas.
No,
so I can come around and shoot Zoe in the eye, which is tradition with Nerf weapons in
your
household.
They're too expensive, man.
Yeah, it's like 120 quid, I think.
I think they're perfectly cool. It's just they should be cheaper. It's a Nerf gun.
It's because it's a branded toy like license.
It's the same with the Fortnite one. There's Fortnite Nerf guns, and you can buy this Nerf gun rifle for £20, or you can buy this Fortnite Nerf gun rifle for £40. So it's the same fucking thing. It's just got the word Fortnite on it, and it doesn't even look like the gun in the game because it's blue.
Well, that's the thing. This looks like exactly like it. Like it's a real good one. Like I was talking to a friend of the show, Rick, about it. Because he does, he got me on to watching a lot of Tested, which is Adam Savage's YouTube channel. So Adam Savage does a great thing where he like weathers like Nerf guns and makes them look like
real guns, like
maybe not real, but like insane, like apocalyptic Borderlands esque kind of things. I would love to see him get his hands on one of these like Nerf phaser rifle things and like just make it look like a proper rifle. Would be amazing.
We were talking about it the other week, wasn't we? That it would be cheaper. So if you are not so much a cosplayer, but an enthusiast, and you like to maybe dress up a little bit, and I know I'm explaining it a cosplay, but you know what I mean. It would be cheaper to buy one of these Nerf guns and do it up so it looks because it looks plastic. It doesn't look. It doesn't look good. But it would be cheaper to buy one of these, repaint it, like sand it all down, slap some primer on, paint it up, maybe put a light on it or something like that, than it would be to buy a replica gun.
Probably, because I don't think they're easy to get hold
replica
of.
Phaser, sorry.
I mean, you could probably, if you've got a decent enough 3D printer in the schematics, you could probably 3D print one that would look pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, and just piece it together.
Like, I think it's new printer. Wink, wink.
So I didn't even know that this was a thing. Like, I thought, to my ignorance, that all 3D printers, currently at least, were all, like, filament based. So, like, it would, like, be a wire that would, like, print, like, a specific pattern. But this is, like, it uses, like, a tank of resin and, like, shines a UV light in a very specific pattern. And then, like, it goes up a little bit and then the next one, like a CAT scan or like an MRI.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like a million shavings. And then it, like, the UV light hardens the resin, then it hardens and hardens. The detail of some of the figures that he's printed through that, it's amazing.
You can, I mean, like,
and like the machine's like £300.
Yeah, I mean, they're
crazy.
a lot more affordable. Like my friend's had a number of 3D printers. He's got a resin one now, but I mean, you can get food ones, you can get wood ones, you get literally fucking everything ones. And
yeah,
I toyed with the idea a while ago of getting one because I thought we could like print little PvP stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, on my desk right now, I have a little tiny Rick that hasn't been painted yet, and there's a Charmander as well. But like, the detail on this is really, really good. It's just not been painted. They're really good, very handy. But would we ever use one? Is the real question.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you got one that was a big enough sort of tray, and you're like, oh shit, I broke my fork, print a new one. Like, I need some more coasters because I haven't got enough coasters. Like, print a weird pimp goblet or whatever.
The drawer handle's broke.
And you can make an exact replica of it, as long as you know how to create the actual files.
You can go, like, I forgot the name of the website, because we've got, long story short, Logan always names the car. So, when we had the Black Astra, because he liked Kylo Ren, it was Kylo. The DS was Bumblebee because it was yellow. And now we've got this big SUV, and because it's blue with a black top, he called it Blastoise. So we've got there's a 3D printed Blastoise on the dashboard. But I'd asked my mate, I was like, can you print me a little Blastoise? And he's like, which one do you want? And I forgot the name of the thing. It's something Universe. And you just go on and you literally just put whatever the fuck you want, and 90% it's on there, and it just gives you the thingy file. I just downloaded it, sent it to him, and the next day he gave it to me. But yeah, you can get literally anything now, like Mandalorian helmets. You print it out in pieces and stick them together and stuff, and like you can do so much with them. But
your drawer handle's broken. Well, as long as you can measure it out and you get the exact specifics of it, make a new one.
But the thing
is, a better one.
It doesn't even need to match. You just go, oh, I've got 4 drawers, one's broke. I'm just going to
print 4 off.
Yeah, 4 new ones.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah,
you could build
or like a
4090
doorknob or something. It wouldn't work, no.
Yeah, you sell it. but
I just thought it was a cool little thing that he had. I've never seen one like that before, so I was very impressed. Like, it's getting so close to a replicator now.
Well, I do think something like that would force you to do more things. So, just off the top of my head, what I really want to do with Logan is build something with a Raspberry Pi. And there's a thing I've seen on Amazon. It's basically like coding for babies, basically. And so I start with that, and then we'll build like either like an emulation console, a media server, or like just a mini PC, just something built together. Because he does IT at school, and he likes learning about the the different parts and stuff. But just off the top of my head, then it's just like, well, if I had a 3D printer, I could make a little tiny PS1 emulator, and
or a stand.
You could make
a thing to
anything.
clip it into.
Yeah, and I could knock it up with wood, no problem. But it's wood. It just gives you more possibilities. But then I go, is it worth £600? It's just one of them.
Yeah.
And because if I want one, I want one with a decent size base on it. So you're not having to. I could print something this big without doing it in 2 halves, kind of thing. But I say it's one of those. It's inevitable. Especially you'll buy one because there'll be a CAD file that will print in 6 easy prints. You can have the thingy from Star Trek, and you can just have the bridge in your house, and you go, okay, I'll do it.
If you could print off a captain's chair, it's like one of those like old magazine things where like once a week for 58 weeks you get a piece that you build.
There's a 3D printer magazine you can buy for that, but at the end of it, it's like 1,900 quid. You know, I could just buy 2 3D printers for that.
Yeah, you could get some real good quality ones for that price. It's not worth it.
So it's because we did look at it, and so it was like, that would be cool. And then we looked at the thing for it. It was like, buy the first issue for $3.99, and then after that it's 15 quid a week. You're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
And it takes a year. It's not worth it. You might as well put a tenner in a jar for a year, and you can buy an amazing one.
To get a decent one. I do want like a proper industrial one. You go, do you need a shell for a car? I'll print one.
You need a room for that though.
Right, you can head over to podcastversusplayer.com, where you can check out more podcasts, more videocasts, more let's plays, more reviews, more animations, more everything you could ever possibly want from a website.
Indeed.
And check out Swell if you are on there. If you're not on there, download it, check it out. It's fun, it's interesting, and we put stuff on there most weeks, to be fair, but no one's replied on the last few, so fuck everyone. Again, we're getting them likes, but no responses.
You just need to be a bit more charming, a bit more engaging.
I couldn't have been any more charming if I tried. I didn't try that hard. And it was a complaint about somebody more than anything else, and nobody bit. So, oh well. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you made it this far, you're an absolute legend, and we'll see you on the next one. See you later, then. Bye.
Bye.